All right. Many of you already know that the console war is over. Microsoft right now is leading the pack in terms of innovation in gaming and all of this stuff. They decided to take the value proposition route. Even though they're a corporation that still wants to take your money, they seem to have realized that value was the only way they were going to come back and overtake PlayStation. PlayStation, on the other hand, had to double down on basically charging its people more. I paid more for PlayStation Plus this last cycle, and we're basically not getting what it is, or we didn't at first get any good games to show for it, nor did we get any increase in the proposition that they were giving us. If that alone is not enough to basically tell you that PlayStation has not necessarily valued its fans, that's your prerogative. I don't care either way where you decide to play your games or which console you choose to go with. I'm here to give you the financial reality. You can take it, you can leave it, but I will provide data. And that's the one thing I realize, that everybody who's arguing against whatever I'm showing them, even though I'm not making these points, I'm showing them what's going on. They don't have any data to provide. Instead, what they have is what they believe to be true, what they're hearing from talking heads. Even the game journalists are quite disappointing in their lack of understanding as to how this thing is playing. Because for some reason, they're not paying attention. I don't know why. Let's go back to 2017. I've made this same video many, many times, and I feel like, man, just the lack of information is really what is causing a lot of folk the misconceptions that they have. In 2017, big corporate tax cuts creating winners and losers as lawmakers try for reform. Apparently, there was a House bill in 2017 that cut the tax bill for corporations to 20%. This was actually something that, was proposed at the time. There were a lot of different things and, going on. Legislators were talking about trying to make it feasible so that they will stimulate the economy one way or the other. This was when I think Microsoft found the opportunity to accelerate its plans to push harder in the console, competition. Now, why is this article actually even useful in this scenario? Well, simply because just a few months into that whole conversation, in 2018, CNN Money reported that Microsoft took a $13.8 billion charge from a tax bill. If you cannot track this story from 2017 and 2018, you'll be lost in the fog. There is no way you're not going to be able to see what's going on. So let me read a little bit of this article for you. Microsoft said in its earnings reports Wednesday that it took a $13.8 billion charge in the final 3 months of 2017 due to a tax bill signed into law in December. With the charge, Microsoft posted a $6.3 billion net loss for the quarter. Without the charge, Microsoft's profits hit $8.6 billion, up 10% from the same period a year earlier. What? Microsoft took a charge. They paid money somewhere. Microsoft did not specify whether the charge was due to a new reparation tax. The tax bill requires companies to pay a one-time 15.5% tax on money held overseas, down from the maximum 35% they would previously pay to return the money. Firms can no longer avoid paying taxes on past international profits by keeping the money outside the United States. The change is intended to encourage cash holders like Microsoft and Apple to bring in money that they had. Microsoft had $138.5 billion in cash in the previous quarter, nearly all of which is held overseas, making it the second largest cash short pile, followed by Apple. Ladies and gentlemen, Goldman Sachs and all these people were saying that this may have been the fact that they brought in a ton of money, and so they were paying this tax bill. What big expenses did Microsoft engage in just a few years after that? Oh, in fact, a few years after that, there was talk that they were trying to buy Warner Brothers Studios, Interactive Entertainment, for the gaming. Then they didn't do it. Then they bought Bethesda, $7 billion. Where'd they get the money from? In 2020 to buy 2021 or so to buy Bethesda. Then in 2022 or so, they announced their intentions to purchase Activision Blizzard. Where'd they get the money from? This is the kind of thing that guides the entire context that many are missing, and they're saying some weird stuff like Game Pass isn't profitable, blah, 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 blah. The console sales hurt Microsoft. Do you not get it? Do you not get it? Do you not see the chess game that's being played right in front of your eyes? How do the console sales, which are a subsidiary market anyways, it's a subsidized way to basically sell games to people. every console you sell, you lose money. PlayStation was at one point saying, oh, we're no longer making losses on our console. Then they kind of backtracked away from that after a while. Xbox is like, we lose $200 in any console that we sell. Oh, yes. It's a loss on paper that's going to save them money from their businesses anyways. But here's the thing. The more consoles that PlayStation sell that cannot necessarily convert players to buying the software, which many of the players are buying Xboxes, Call of Duty, Epic Games' Fortnite, EA's FIFA. That is a bigger loss in itself. So PlayStation can sell more consoles all day, but if the players don't change their behavior, they're not making any money. Are you going to think about it or are you going to argue about it? Like, you got to really kind of think about this stuff because, and again, it's not like I'm, yelling at anybody. I'm just yelling at the frustration that I feel that no one else is actually seeing this picture. That I have to make 100 videos, a small YouTuber, because I'm not going to sit here and edit and talk and play music on the background. Everybody think that's what's necessary to convince anybody. Honestly, I'm not trying to convince anybody. I really just want to say what I believe is happening, and you go do whatever you want with it. This is not saying PlayStation is going to die. I think many people are interpreting it as that. Somebody brought up this whole conversation of the layoffs at Microsoft. I'm like, oh, do you not get it? What are we talking about, man? We're gamers, so I'm sure a lot of this stuff behooves us, and it's not necessary. Just play games and enjoy games. But if you're really ready for the conversation, man, you probably won't like the results of what it is that you get. That's just the reality. Thanks for watching. Peace out.